Hello students. So let us consider the question or the problem which we were discussing in the previous lecture. We were discussing a setup where we were dealing with n parameters theta 1 to theta n, but the ultimate parameter of interest was only function of theta 1 and theta 2. Then the question which I had raised was, do we really need the multinomial model or will it be enough if we assume the binomial model? Now because we are interested in only theta 1 and theta 2, or in fact a function of theta 1 and theta 2, a better model can be proposed and the model can be based only on the cell frequencies of the first two cells, that is y1 and y2. So how can it be done? Let us consider. So suppose the entire focus is only on y1, then notice that if y1 plus y2 is the total number of observations classified into two cells, that is the first cell or the second cell, then the distribution of y1 given beta is nothing but theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2. So the distribution of y1 will be simply binomial with parameter y1 plus y2 and beta, which is theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2. Why is this so? How do we get beta here? So notice that because here I am assuming the total number of observations to be y1 plus y2. So it is as if I am observing, I am conditioning on the on y2, and I am assuming that capital Y2 equal to small y2 has been observed. Means the random variable y2 has assumed this value. So if we assume this, then the conditional distribution of y1 will be binomial with total number of observations in the first cell not exceeding y1 plus y2. And now what is the probability that the random variable y1, that is the number of observations belonging to the first cell, will be exactly equal to y1 given that the total number of observations in the first and second cell is y1 plus y2. So the probability that this will happen is nothing but theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2. And so the distribution of y1 given beta will be binomial with parameters y1 plus y2 and beta. So the PMF will be like this. Now if we assume a flat prior for beta or a uniform prior in this case for beta, since beta will be between 0 and 1. So why beta will be between 0 and 1? So notice that beta's value is theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2. So the denominator is always going to be more than the numerator. So beta will be between 0 and 1. So if this is the prior distribution and this is the model for y1, then we will get the posterior distribution of beta as by beta distribution with parameters y1 and y2. So which is same as the distribution of eta 1 given y, where eta 1 was nothing but theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2. So this example is giving us a major policy, helping us a major in a major policy decision, that is if we are dealing with a multinomial model and suppose that the parameter of interest involves only sum of the cells from the multinomial model, then the model can be reduced to a smaller setup or a smaller dimensional model. How is it done is illustrated through this example. Now let us see what would have happened if we had a different prior distribution. So let us assume that we have a Dirichlet prior. So what is a Dirichlet distribution? So the distribution here, it is simply proportional to the theta 1 raised to parameter minus 1, theta 2 raised to the parameter minus 1 and so on. So suppose theta is an n-dimensional vector, then the prior distribution following the Dirichlet will be like this. Pi theta will be theta 1 raised to alpha 1 minus 1, theta 2 raised to alpha 1 minus 1 and so on. Theta n raised to alpha n minus 1 multiplied by 1 upon b alpha. Now what is b alpha? This b alpha is nothing but product of gamma of alpha I upon summation of upon gamma of summation of alpha i's. So notice that this is a proper prior distribution in the sense if you integrate this out with respect to all the thetas, then the integration will be 1. So now the model for y is same, product of theta j raised to yj into now summation of yj factorial upon product of yj factorial. So y's are following the multinomial distribution in the n cells with the cell probabilities equal to theta. So the first cell's probability is theta 1, second cell's probability is theta 2 and so on. By cell probability I mean the probability of classifying an observation into that cell. So here now suppose eta is theta 1 upon theta 2. Then the joint distribution. So the purpose is assuming Dirichlet prior what will be the posterior distribution of eta 1. So let us first find the joint distribution. So the joint distribution will be simply product of these two, this multiplied by this. Now since the ultimate aim is to find the posterior distribution, we are ignoring the constant terms and we are focusing only on terms containing theta and y both. So clearly if you take the product will be product of theta j raised to yj plus alpha j minus 1 into this j will go from 1 to n into 1 upon b alpha into this term. So these term this 1 upon b alpha and these terms they are free from alpha. So I am not considering them when I write this. So f y theta I can safely say it is proportional to this. So the posterior distribution will be proportional to this term product of theta j raised to yj plus alpha j minus 1. So if you expand this, it is theta 1 raised to y1 plus alpha 1 minus 1, theta 2 raised to y2 plus alpha 2 minus 1 into product of theta j raised to yj plus alpha j minus 1 where j goes from 3 to n. So why have I splitted it like this? Because ultimately we are interested in eta which is theta 1 upon theta 2. So I have taken theta 1 and theta 2 outside the product sign. Now let us try to simplify. So as we have discussed earlier, here again we are considering an n-dimensional vector with the first element as theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2, second element as theta 1 plus theta 2 and rest of the elements same as those in vector theta. So again we will compute the matrix of partial derivatives and we know the Jacobian of it. So the Jacobian is eta 2 into 1 minus eta 1 plus eta 2 into eta 1. So if you simplify this, eta 2 minus eta 2 into eta 1 plus eta 2 into eta 1. So minus plus they will get cancelled and the Jacobian will be simply eta 2. So if we keep all this back, so what do we get? We get the posterior distribution of eta given y. So here in the prior posterior distribution of theta, this theta 1 will have to be replaced by the appropriate function of etas, that is theta 1 will have to be replaced by eta 1 into eta 2, theta 2 will have to be replaced by eta 2 into 1 minus eta 1 and so on. So finally we get the posterior distribution to be proportional to all these terms, eta 1 into eta 2 raised to y1 plus alpha 1 minus 1, then eta 2 into 1 minus eta 1 raised to y2 plus alpha 2 minus 1, then into eta 2 and finally this product term. This into eta 2 it is coming from the Jacobian. So we get the posterior distribution finally like this. So now because we are interested in computing the posterior distribution of eta 1 alone, we can ignore the rest of the terms in the joint distribution. So the posterior distribution of eta 1 given y will be proportional to eta 1 raised to y1 plus alpha 1 minus y into 1 minus eta 1 raised to y2 plus alpha 2 minus 1. So this is nothing but a part of beta density. So the posterior distribution of eta 1 given y will be like this. So which is nothing but a beta distribution with parameters y1 plus alpha 1 and y2 plus alpha 2. Now again we did a small conjecture in the previous exercise that we could have reduced the entire multinomial model to a binomial model. So let us try to do it here again. So let us focus on theta 1 and theta 2 alone. Now note that the conditional distribution of y1 given y1 plus y2 is binomial with parameters y1 plus y2 and theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2. So the distribution of y1 given y1 plus y2 and alpha is nothing but, here I am calling this as alpha, theta 1 upon theta 1 plus theta 2. So this will be simply y1 plus y2, choose y1, alpha raised to y1, 1 minus alpha raised to y2. So what do we get is the posterior distribution of alpha will be proportional to the joint distribution. So the joint distribution will be proportional to alpha raised to, the prior distribution of alpha is assumed to be, there are too many alphas here, but alpha raised to alpha 1 minus 1 into 1 minus alpha raised to alpha 2 minus 1 means we are taking a beta prior for alpha. So if we take a beta prior with parameters alpha 1, alpha 2 for alpha, then we get, if we follow, we get beta posterior for the parameter alpha. So the marginal posterior distribution of alpha is identical to the marginal to the posterior distribution of alpha by treating y1 as an observation from binomial distribution with probability alpha and sample size y1 plus y2, ignoring the data on y3, y4 and so on. So thus binomial distribution can be applied in multinomial models when we are only interested in two of the categories.